Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for April 28, 2023, the $55 million per day edition. And that story comes to us from AfricaNews, a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News, which reports that corruption is costing Eskom, the state-owned electric company, $55 million a month, as the company is burdened with debt and unable to produce power to supply the country's energy. This comes with a interview of the company's former chief executive. So if you wondered what the cost of corruption is, $55 million is being stolen from Eskom every month. Next up, from the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal, Dylan Tokar reporting, Franks International pays $8 million to settle Angola bribery provisions. Franks International apparently violated the FCPA back in 2008 to 2014. And 7 years ago, they self-disclosed this potential violation, and now they finally got a settlement. Senior managers had learned that in 2007, Sonacol had directed Franks to use a competitor, which the state-owned energy company then made or took bribes from. So, FCPA settlement for Franks International, which of course no longer exists. That's it's owned by Expro Group Holdings. Our next story comes to us today from the New York Times, Dealbook, which reports that the Competition and Markets Authority in the United Kingdom has blocked the merger of Microsoft and Activism Blizzard. They did so based upon the gaming online component of Activision Blizzard, and the resulting regulatory muscle used here is certainly going to influence the United States and the FTC at this case, so I would not expect this deal to go through. And our final story comes to us from the Financial Times, which reports that a phenomenon known as flattening, in which tech companies which hired middle managers in drove during the pandemic are now cutting them out so that employees are really reporting directly up much quicker. And this, according to people like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, makes their organizations more nimble and quick. I cite this story because I would like every compliance professional to understand what this might mean for delivery of compliance services, and if truly the employees are the front line or first line of defense around a compliance program, you may have access to them and have them reporting to you in a much quicker, more expeditious manner than them going into their supervisor's office because their supervisor may not be there. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.